Hello everyone, every page tells a new story. Welcome to the world of endless animation. The last thing we saw was that Po managed to defeat Kai in the spirit realm.
Kablam!
And Master Oogway gave him the Staff of Wisdom. And Po then lived in his village with his father. Now, Mao, working in a mine to extract minerals, and suddenly Tai Lung appears, shocking everyone because it was supposed that Tai Lung had died a long time ago and gone to the spirit world. Tai Lung says he has returned to take what he deserves, sets the place on fire, and declares this time that the dragon fighter won't be able to stand against him. Then Tai Lung starts destroying the metals in the place. After that, we go to Po, who was fighting a big fish that was causing problems for the people of his village. Po managed to defeat it using kung fu techniques. Then the villagers began to greet him because he had saved them, as was their custom. Master Shifu was watching the celebrations and told Po that he wanted to talk to him about something important, but Po replied that he was currently busy with the opening of his new restaurant. Po stands in front of his new restaurant, where he will collaborate with Mr. Ping, holding Master Oogway's staff to announce the opening of the new restaurant. The villagers ask about the 5 warriors, and Po tells them that they are busy with different missions. Then the villagers start taking pictures with Po, but Master Shifu interrupts the celebrations again and asks to speak to Po privately. Master Shifu says it's time for a new phase in Po's life, and he must choose a successor to become the Wise Master, with Master Oogway's successor being Po, who will become the Wise Master. But Po refuses and says he doesn't want to become a sage. He wants to remain the Dragon Warrior. Shifu replies that since Master Oogway gave him his staff, it means he chose him to be his successor, not to open a noodle restaurant. Po argues with Shifu and says that he cannot become a wise master because he doesn't think he is good at anything else besides fighting. Then Shifu suggests to Po that he take the Staff of Wisdom to become the successor of Master Oogway, but Po refuses again, saying that this is not his destiny. Shifu tells him that he must become the Wise Master and choose the new Dragon Warrior himself, and that the next day he will meet the candidates. A competition was organized at the Good Palace, where each fighter showcased their skills and fighting techniques. Po was supposed to choose one of them, but Po tried to imitate Master Oogway and chose one using his finger. However, Po was not satisfied with that and chose himself. Master Shifu took Po to the tree where Master Oogway used to sit, hoping that Po would find wisdom and inner peace to be able to choose a successor. Master Shifu left him to think alone, and when Po began to think, he discovered that there were many thoughts swirling in his head. He was thinking about food, fighting, and various other things all at once. After that, he saw a masked person entering the palace of Jid, so he entered the palace and began searching for the thief. The masked man was well hidden and was trying to steal the legendary weapons. When Po saw him, the masked man threw a sword at him, but Po dodged the strike and grabbed the Staff of Wisdom, telling the masked man that he must be punished for what he had done. The masked man replied, saying that the Dragon Warrior will be the one to impress you when he finds out you took his staff. Po got angry and told him that he is the Dragon Warrior. The masked one was astonished and told him that there was nothing about him that indicated he was the Dragon Warrior, and then the fight began between them. The masked figure revealed her face, and it turned out to be a she-wolf named Zhen. She had bound Po with chains and started destroying the legendary weapons, but Po caught up with her before the weapons could be broken. She provoked Zhen Po and knocked him down, and was about to steal the Staff of Wisdom, but Po took the matter seriously and managed to stop her in her tracks and apprehend her. Then he took her to jail. At that moment, the goat came to Po and told him that Tai Lung had attacked the mine and said he wouldn't stop until he destroyed the village and made the Dragon Warrior kneel before him. Po was surprised by Tai Lung's emergence from the spirit world. The goat asked for his help, and Po decided to talk to Zhen in prison. He asked her if she knew anything about Tai Lung, and she replied that there was a possibility that this person was not Tai Lung, but a chameleon named Chameleon, who is capable of completely changing her appearance. But the criminals misunderstood the wisdom and decided to beat Zhen violently. Po tried to explain to them that this was not his intention, but they ignored him and left. Po felt sad because they misunderstood the wisdom, so he went to talk to Master Han. Po asked Master Han about himself and the people of his village, but Han had not heard of Master Shifu. Zhen asked Master Han to hide there until the police forgot about them, and Han agreed to stay in the place for just one night. Meanwhile, Mr. Ping and Li arrived at the restaurant that Po had broken into, and Mr. Ping asked if they had seen Po in the past few days. The restaurant owner got angry when he heard Po's name and asked Ping how he knew him. Ping replied that Po was his son. At that moment, the restaurant owner and his men grabbed Ping by the neck and were about to put him in the soup because of what Po had done. But Li intervened and threatened them, saying, "If Po did that to you, Imagine what I will do, because I taught him everything. But unlike him, I am not merciful at all. He said to them, I prefer that you tell me his whereabouts. The restaurant owner revealed Po's location and told them he had gone to the city of Johnny Bear. After Mr. Ping and Lee left, the restaurant fell into the water. Meanwhile, Po was teaching Jen how to use the Staff of Wisdom, but Master Han expelled Po and Jen from the place. After that, Po and Jen were hiding from Chameleon's men and their lizard guards. But due to a sneeze from Bo, the guards woke up and they managed to escape, but they fell into his traps, finding themselves in a tightly locked cage that Po couldn't break. Po gave the Staff of Wisdom to Jen to try to use it, but the surprise was that Jen took the staff and handed it over to Chameleon. It turned out that Jen had been working for Chameleon all along, and she had brought Po to her to obtain the Staff of Wisdom. Jen told Bo, the first rule I learned on the streets is to trust no one. He also revealed that Chameleon was the one who adopted and raised Jen, which is why she was loyal to her. Po Chameleon asked her why she wanted the Staff of Wisdom, and she replied that she had dreamed of strength and power, and her goal was to become a Kung Fu master. However, she was rejected everywhere she went, and they told her she was weak and small, and that Kung Fu was not for her. So she decided to choose the path of magic, and she managed to obtain everything using magic except for Kung Fu. So the solution for her was to steal the Staff of Wisdom to open the spirit world and gain the Kung Fu power of every master. And with this, everyone will stop treating her as weak. Po got angry and tried to break the cage, but it was made of magic, so he decided to hit the ground and succeeded. But Chameleon had prepared many of her men to face him in a fierce confrontation. After a long fight, Po managed to defeat many of them, but during the battle, he fell from the palace. Jen came to him, who had retrieved the Staff of Wisdom, and apologized to him. But it turned out that it was a trick by Chameleon, who had changed her appearance and struck Po from above the palace. Then, the real Jen appeared, who had been worried about Bo. It turned out that Po managed to grab onto a tree before falling, and a Komodo dragon appeared to attack him. But Mr. Ping and Lee came to his rescue and pulled the dragon away. While Po was telling them what happened, he said he felt sad because he trusted Jen and handed her the Staff of Wisdom. He added, if I had listened to Master Chef, all of this would have ended, and none of this would have happened. Mr. Ping told him that he shouldn't feel upset about what happened, as not everything that happens is bad. If all good things remain the same, they would lose their value over time and a person would not feel their importance. Therefore, a person must try change to appreciate the value of what they have, and Po was convinced by Mr. Ping's words. While Chameleon was asking Jen, is it difficult for you? Jen replied, no, on the contrary. And she continued, when we need something, we must use all means to obtain it. My access to the Staff of Wisdom cost me only a deep panda. And Jen knew that Chameleon was adopted because she was a smart and skilled thief. And Chameleon said to Jen, the day I see you as not smart and unable to help me, I will get rid of you immediately. After that, Chameleon opened a portal to the spirit world and returned Tylon to the spirit world, taking his power. She transformed into a tiger resembling him, attacked him, and then threw him into the cage. Chameleon was very happy because she had obtained Tailong's special Kung Fu power. Then, she opened a second gate to the spirit world, revived Guy, and took his power as well, along with the powers of all the Kung Fu masters that Boo had defeated. Jen saw what was happening and decided to separate from Chameleon and leave the palace, only to discover that Po was heading towards the palace. She was happy because Po was alive, and she tried to apologize to him, telling him that she was wrong, but he didn't pay attention to her. Jen tried to stop him before he entered the Chameleon Palace, and told him that the situation had become dangerous for him, but Po didn't listen to her because he no longer trusted her and entered the palace. Meanwhile, Ping and Lee arrived and said, what are we going to do now? Surely Chameleon has an army. Jen said, then we must also bring an army. Jen went to the criminals who live underground and asked them for help, telling them that it was time to do something good instead of stealing. She spoke to them in their language and convinced them to attack the Chameleon Palace. On the other side, Chameleon was still absorbing the power of the Kung Fu masters. Po sneaked in and entered the palace to find out what was happening. He saw Tylon and said to him, Oho was wrong when he chose you to be the dragon warrior. Po said to him, I will correct my mistake and you will see. Po began to draw the guards towards the criminal fighters and a battle started between them. While Po approached Chameleon and said to her, I will take revenge on you and take the Staff of Wisdom. But Chameleon said to him, take the stick, I no longer need it. Now I will use magic and Kung Fu, and no one can stop me. Po tried to advise her to retreat from the evil within her, but she didn't listen to him and transformed into a huge monster and attacked him. Po imagined Master Shifu and said to him, I am proud of you for trying wisdom first, and since wisdom did not yield results, use your Kung Fu skills. Po started attacking Chameleon, but she became very strong and turned into a more powerful fighter. Po tried to fight with all his might, but he was battling the strength of every fighter he had encountered in his life. A Zhen entered and threw a cage at Chameleon, and when Chameleon transformed into a giant beast, it attacked him and imprisoned him in the cage. Po Lu Zhen said, "You are the only hope. Take the Staff of Wisdom and try to save the situation." Zhen took the staff, but Chameleon easily struck her. Zhen used the staff as Po had taught her, and managed to hit Chameleon with great force. Po came out of the cage and congratulated Zhen on what she had done. But Chameleon was still trying to attack, but Po had sensed her and took the stick to deliver the final blow. He used the stick and took its power to steal it, which led to the liberation of all the Kung Fu masters from their cages. Tai Lung changed his mind and said to Po, "Ogu was right. You truly deserve to be the Dragon Warrior." All the fighters bowed to Po and asked him to return them to the spirit world. Po opened a portal to the spirit world, and all the warriors entered. Tai Lung took Chameleon to the spirit world, thus completing Po's mission, leaving him with only the task of choosing his successor. Po said to Master Shifu, "Zhen is the one who deserves to be the Dragon Warrior." Shifu felt shocked and didn't like the decision, but he let it go and left. Po began teaching Zhen Kung Fu, and the 5 fighters returned to the spirit world. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on the fun. Get ready to relive your favorite cartoons and discover new ones with us.